Well, thank you, Anne, for coming today. We're so glad that you're here. I wanted to tell everybody what you do and why we're so honored to have you talk to us.
Thank you, Ivan. I'm pleased to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, definitely. Anne is a personal menswear stylist for J. Helburn. Her background is in law firms, hospitality, commercial real estate, multimedia trade shows, and the fashion industries. She's a preferred vendor for the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association and Ohio Society of CPAs, as well as a referred vendor for various wedding venues and country clubs in Northeast Ohio. All right, so I wanted to start off asking you a little bit about how did you get into men's fashion and clothing?
Well, I've always had a passion for fashion. I used to model a long time ago. My daughter is in the fashion industry and used to live in Milan. And I was introduced to J. Helburn through her. I've always enjoyed helping people and meeting people, and who doesn't love a sharp-dressed man, right? In the words of ZZ Top.
Nice.
So yes, I love helping men of all different shapes and sizes get the proper fit.
That's wonderful. Why should a man pay attention to how he dresses?
Because the first impressions are last impressions. We usually just get 3 seconds to make a great first impression. And we want to be able to put our personal best out there wherever we are in our work or personal life. But especially if the clients are the people getting married, they want to look their best for the most important day of their lives, and the wedding guests should also follow suit as well.
That makes total sense. Do you have any advice for wedding clothing for a groom and the groomsmen at a wedding?
Yes. They need to decide if they're going to be using suits or tuxedos. Another popular option is a dress shirt, a vest, and pants. And it also depends on the climate and the venue. So if they're getting married at a beach destination, they may want to go with the vest, dress shirt, and trousers because the jacket would be too warm. Or some grooms will even do the linen suits, just because it's more casual and it's more fitting. We've got a wide selection of suits and 43 different tuxedo colors and patterns. And a lot of the popular colors for suits are blues and grays. So any of the blues, navies, light blue if it's a warmer weather wedding, or the charcoal grays, light gray, dark gray, that kind of runs the gamut. But those are the most popular choices, and they're very versatile. Another thing they should consider is if they're going to be wearing the tux again for business events, award events. A lot of companies host award events, and if they're going to be going to charity events and wearing a tuxedo more than a couple times, it's best to invest in a tux.
Yes.
If you rent a tux 3 times, you've already paid for it. So why not go custom and get exactly what you want, along with the color and the personalization options that you desire. And if they feel they'd get more use out of a suit, then the blues and the grays complement so many different types of shirt colors. They could even be paired with jeans or 5 pockets, and just wear a sport coat out with a pair of jeans, maybe a pocket square, even a polo shirt with it, or a dress shirt. And they can get a lot of looks that way by mixing and matching.
Yeah, and the blues and the grays, they're timeless too.
Yes, they are.
It's not going to look too trendy, from the photos from 10 years ago.
True.
As far as clothing advice, do you have advice for parents of the brides and grooms, what they might wear? Would they coordinate, or do they have any considerations on what to wear at a wedding?
Yes, they should be discussing it with the bride and groom.
Yes.
And they may want to take the couple with them when they go shopping. One thing for the men to consider is, again, if the fathers of the bride and groom decide to wear suits or tuxes, but they really need to get the input from the bride and the groom. so that there's no surprises the day of the wedding. And also for the women, the mothers of the bride and groom, it helps to coordinate, you know, are they going to go with cocktail length dresses or full length dresses? Full length dresses for continuity look great in the photos. So it's just something to think about long term when you're looking back at your wedding photos, and something to think about, but also to determine the colors that the mothers of the bride and groom should be wearing.
Yeah, I've seen every once in a while where like a father of one of the people getting married will wear a certain color that kind of like, they're not matching anybody, but their tie seems to go with the theme, and it looks really nice.
Yes, it does.
What ways can men's suits complement the dresses of the bridesmaids?
Oh, there's so many different ways. If they decide to go with a vest, either with their suit or with their tux, the back of the vest lining can match the inside of the jacket lining. So here, for example, on this suit, this is a burgundy, but we have 80 linings from which to choose, including a lot of fun patterns, including golf, the American flag, guitars, martini glasses.
Oh wow, yeah.
Camouflage, music notes.
That's fun.
And the lining does not need to match the suit or the tux. But we also have a couple that would match the bridesmaids' dresses with some purple florals. And I also have some solid colors in here too, as well as polka dots. So that's one way. Another way is the ties that get selected, whether it's a bow tie or a regular tie, and the lapel. Well, the groom and the groomsmen would be wearing boutonnieres.
Yes.
But for later on, they may want to consider a flower lapel and or a pocket square, just to complement the suit.
Yeah, I just noticed those accessories tend to like level up the appearance a little bit.
Yeah, they do.
Many guys just go to the department chain stores and let them handle most of the details for the wedding attire. What other directions can people take when it comes to making those sort of choices?
When I have a personal fitting with a client, I take 24 measurements, and I can save them time, money, and convenience because I make the house calls or the office calls. So instead of a man or a bridal couple going around to several different stores, getting, on a fact-finding mission, getting measured, trying to figure out what colors to wear. Once they can narrow down the fabric colors that I offer, and I do the fitting, it can take about an hour from start to finish and to place the order per person. Now, if they don't know what fabric they want, and we have to look through several different types of fabrics during the appointment, then it can take up to 2 hours. But again, they're not running around to different malls, different stores. Yeah, they can see and touch and feel the fabric. Another reason is the quality or lack thereof of the suiting materials at the men's stores. They may not be 100% wool. Check to see what the fabric content is. If it's polyester, it's not going to breathe, so you're going to bake in that jacket. And especially if the wedding's at a warmer climate. And all of our suits are 100% wool. They're made from the best mills in Italy. And we keep our costs down because we don't have a lot of the high overhead charges that the department stores or our competitors have. And we also offer the personalization option. So I have a number of different button colors for the suits and tuxes, as well as the shirts, and the thread that goes in the shirt colors. And buttons don't have to be white, and neither do the thread. So on this shirt, this is for a funeral director. He decided to go with contrast fabric in the on the inside collar and on the inside cuffs.
Excellent.
He wanted a monogram on the cuff, and if anyone's planning on getting a monogram, I suggest they get it done on the left cuff because it's less less invasive when you go to shake a person's hand.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's not, right there in your face. And people can select the style of the collar they want, the cut of the shirt. For a wedding, they wouldn't necessarily want pockets. But the length of the shirt, the style of the cuffs. For the jacket, a lot of what's trending, the men like the double vent in the back.
Yes.
It lays flat, it looks very nice on. And there's also an option to select the type of buttons. I'm sorry, not only the buttons, but the type of pockets.
Okay.
This is the hacking pockets that are slanted. This has the ticket pocket from the old train conductor days.
Yes.
So it's just something like that. If people want to get the working buttonholes and put contrast thread in the buttonholes, we offer that option as well.
That's great.
And it's made to fit you. And everything is 100% fit and satisfaction guaranteed. So when I deliver the first item of the order in person, so again, the person's not going out to a fitting and, across town or wherever, I come to you. If anything needs to be tweaked, we pay for the alterations. If too much has to get done, especially if a man has gained weight or lost weight, which has happened in the 5 weeks it takes to produce the suit.
Sure.
It happens.
Sure.
Then we return the suit at our expense and remake the garment. And we do that for the shirts as well as, in addition to the custom jeans, whatever they happen to be ordering. For every first order, we guarantee the fit. And then in a year from now, if they go to order something, I'll go and remeasure them just to confirm their sizes.
That's great. I love that you will actually go to people, go to their house. It's a real time saver.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so customizable. You don't feel like you're, in line. That is so great.
It's very personalized.
Definitely.
Oh, and I forgot to mention too, a lot of the suits you'll see in the stores, the men's stores, they do not have the lining stitched to the jacket. It's fused. With fusing, the manufacturers use glue to glue the lining to the canvas and the jacket.
Lower quality.
Why would you want glue in your clothing? And think about when you get it dry cleaned after several cleanings, the glue will dissipate and you'll start to see puckering on the outside right here of the jacket. So yes, you get what you pay for. There's always other options out there, less expensive options, but in the long run, if it doesn't last you very long because of the poor quality, it's fast fashion, you're just throwing money away. Whereas a good quality suit will last you a very long time when taken care of properly. And our suits start as low as under $700, and we have sales twice a year.
That is good to know. You were so right on the glued versus canvas. I had a suit that I really liked, but it turned out it was cheaply made because it got these little bubble-looking things in it, and I was like, I had to get rid of it and replace it. And when I replaced it, I bought a better suit. Unfortunately, yeah. And many men don't really like to dress up. Why should they do so for a wedding?
Because it's the right thing to do. Again, going back to first impressions make last ones, and you don't want to be that person at the wedding or be a meme. Yes.
Yeah, I had a time when it was a long story, but I ended up wearing a soccer shirt to an event that I should have been more formally dressed for, and my wife to this day still gives me a hard time about it. So I was that guy, and you don't want to be that guy.
How about that?
So for a guide, what general advice do you have when dressing for a wedding?
The proper fit. Fit is king. Many men tend to, well, a couple things there. Some will procrastinate, and they'll wait till the last minute to look for a suit or a tux. And I had this happen when I worked at the department store. A lot of men would come in, they had a wedding the next day or a funeral, and they were facing very, not much in the way of inventory on what's available to them and their sizes. But then also, oftentimes the suits weren't on sale, so they had to pay full price. All the suits needed alterations because they're off the rack suits, and the pants are never finished, they're not hemmed. So not only would they incur all those challenges, but then they had to get it altered and pay a rush fee. So they're paying much, much more. And a lot of people will say, I don't wear suits anymore, you know, like I used to, I never wear a suit. Okay, well, there are still weddings and funerals that we go to. Some interviews, we should be wearing a suit or a sport coat and jeans, or even a polo shirt and jeans. It just depends on the nature of the business you're applying for. So it's good to be ready and be prepared and to plan ahead.
This is true. Yes, it's a good idea to put on that suit, a month or so in advance, just to find out. Okay, do I still have a similar body that I had before?
Yes, right. Exactly. Does it need altering? Does it need dry cleaning? And what a lot of men do that have a belly, they'll wear their pants below the belly, and this is what happens when department stores and men's stores will measure the men. They'll measure the waist, which is fine, but if the man wears the pants much lower because of the belly, then the pants are going to have a real droopy seat in the back because the rise is going to be longer because the pants sit farther down on your body. So that's something to think about. And I've seen so many men where they look great from the front, but they turn around and they've got this big droopy seat in the back. And some men don't have a butt, either from lack of exercise or by genetics. But a tailor or a seamstress can shape the seat to make it look good. And also when a man wears the pants below the belly, the pants are going to fit longer in the leg.
Yes.
And they'll droop way over the shoes. Sometimes they may even drag on the ground. So that's another reason for trying the suit on in advance. The pants may need to get hemmed. A couple other things too. Some men's pants will flare because they've gained weight in their hips.
Okay.
Pardon me. The pockets will flare out. They're supposed to lay flat.
Yes.
So a seamstress or a tailor can take out some of the measurements in the seams and the center seam of the pants to alleviate that. And then also some men have a collar roll in the jacket. You see when they put on the jacket, there's a roll below the collar.
Yes.
And that's due to posture. There's nothing we can do about that. That happens with me too, with some of my clients. But we can fix it. A tailor or a seamstress can fix it by just going underneath the collar and fixing that. Or there's the back roll where it'll pull right around here. That's because it's too tight right there.
Okay, yep.
And the most a suit jacket can be taken out is a quarter inch on all three seams. So that can be done that way. You can even get an extra quarter inch by moving the button over.
Yes.
And wait, let me backtrack. It's a ½ inch on each seam where the jackets can be taken in or out. And then 2 inches in the waistband of the pants, in or out. So just little tricks the seamstresses and tailors can do to make our clothes fit like they're supposed to.
I tell you, yeah. I mean, no matter what your body type, definitely if you know the name of your, if you're on a first name basis with your tailor or your seamstress, they can make it look good and they can make it fit your body. So
absolutely,
that's totally key. I wanted to ask you about if you had any advice for how to dress based on your skin tone and hair color. I've heard that sometimes certain colors go better with certain skin tones, hair color, eye color, that type of thing.
Yes, you're right. There's a lot of truth to that in the color analysis. There's great articles online as well as visuals on the color analysis and the 4 different seasons: winter, spring, summer, autumn. And it's good to know what season you are, so you can stay away from colors that don't complement your looks. For example, I had a client that wanted to get a gray suit, and he had very dull gray hair, a very pasty pale complexion, and beautiful blue eyes. And I said, yeah, I really stuck on gray, or would you consider blue? I said, I think the gray would make you look washed out, even if you add a different color shirt, but you've got beautiful blue eyes. This man was 83 years old. I said, how about blue? And then it would make it more versatile too. You can wear it with different colors. You could wear it with a polo shirt, different color ties, and he liked that idea, and he went with that. But it's just something to think about. And certain times of the year, I know myself, I look like I died and forgot to lay down in the wintertime. So there's certain colors I stay away from.
I understand, yeah. I've heard that even with suits that a blue suit can make a man look a little younger maybe, and a gray suit can make him look a little more distinguished, that type of thing. So it kind of depends on the person, I suppose.
Yes, that's true.
Are there fashion mistakes that a man can make at a wedding?
If they decide to get an off-the-rack suit. There is a suit drop of 6 inches. That's whenever these stores carry the suits. Say, for example, somebody wears a size 46 chest in the suit.
Okay.
The jacket will be a 46, but the pants will be 40 inches, a 6-inch drop. Mm-hmm. Now, not everybody has a waist or hips that coincide with those measurements. It may be more or less.
Yes.
So that's why alterations have come into play. Sometimes alterations cannot be made on an off-the-rack suit. A lot of men, especially if they don't wear suits very often, they're not familiar with the bottom button rule. The bottom button of a suit jacket or a tux jacket should never be buttoned unless it's only a 1-button jacket. Mm-hmm. Same thing with a vest. The bottom button of a vest should never be buttoned. And with double-breasted suits, we don't see too many of them, but we do offer that style with J. Hilburn, as well as the 2-button suits. But for the double-breasted, again, the bottom button is never buttoned. And that goes back to the King Edward VII days back in England when he got too big for his waistcoat, which is a vest. Uh-huh. So he started, the myth is that he just unbuttoned the bottom button. And then all the members of his cabinet and the townspeople didn't want him to feel bad, so they started doing the same thing too.
That's so funny. I thought it was just for like flexibility or a little more mobility, but that's right. I didn't know the history behind that.
Yeah,
the story.
Isn't that funny?
That's great. Oh wow. So when a man's wearing a suit, are there any accessories that can really enhance the outfit? I know you've alluded to a couple, but are there any accessories that you'd recommend that if they want to be just more than a guy in a suit?
Sure. If they're, a tie for one, or a tie clip. If they're not going to wear a tie, then a pocket square always looks great. It complements the sport coat. Ladies love the pocket square. It adds a nice splash of color. And also, if they decide to go with the contrast fabric in the collar and sleeves, that's another way to add a little bit of splash. There's different pins that they could wear. The flower lapels are popular. I've even seen some with natural flowers. Those look very nice.
Yeah.
That covers it. And the shirt color. And, and then if you decide to add different color buttons, different color thread in the buttons to make it pop.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another way too.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I've often heard that, like, say that red doesn't really go well with your skin tone or what have you, but you like red a lot. Maybe you can just put a little bit in a pocket square or in a lapel pin or something like that, and you can get that in there. Right.
Yes, that's true. And a pocket square does not need to match the tie. It can complement it, and you can mix patterns as long as they don't fight with each other.
That makes sense. I love it. Is there any rule about wearing a black dress shirt with a dark suit? I've seen some people do it, and some people can pull it off. I've never really been able to, but is there any rule on that, or any thoughts that you have on, like a dark dress shirt with a dark suit?
There's no rule on it, and I have seen that too. I haven't seen too much of the monochrome look in a while. But I look at it this way: life is too short to wear boring colors. On my website, we do have some tuxes with the men wearing black tuxes with a black shirt. And it looks nice. I think if people want to go that route, see how well it looks on them, what type of tie or bow tie or color are they going to wear with it. Consider the boutonniere too. But yes, it depends on their skin tone and their hair tone. A person with dark skin tone may look, it may be too much to wear all black.
Okay.
Yeah, and black suits are more, they're a power color. They exude power. That's why it's not recommended to wear those for an interview. But a lot of people still want to get a black suit to wear to funerals, or if they're going to be a pallbearer. Or also, it does give a little more formal look if they're going to be in a wedding or be the groom at a wedding. But it just helps to add some type of color, either in the shirt, tie, or pocket square, just to offset the harshness of the black.
What kinds of services do you provide?
I provide complimentary consultations as well as personal fittings. And the fittings are in person in those cities you mentioned. I do have clients all over the country, as far away as California, and I can do virtual fittings. We have a proprietary tape software program that calculates a person's measurements based on algorithms, and a pre-appointment survey that Jay Hilburn has prepared. And we also have a virtual measuring app. So if I'm not able to measure them in person, I use that. But for a wedding party, say for example in Los Angeles, I'd be more than welcome to travel there and fit everyone in person.
So Anne, how can people find out more about you or contact you if they'd be interested in your services?
Well, they can Google me. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, not so much Twitter, once in a while when I have time for that. But I also have my own website, annehydock.jhilburn.com. And I'll be happy to add that for you for your blog. And they can also contact me by phone. I do post some of my clients' photos on Instagram. I value my clients' confidentiality, and I only do so when I have their permission.
Excellent.
Yeah. But it shows what's available out there and how people can personalize. There's so many different options to go with. It's nice to have choices, and they can design the shirt or suit however they'd like.
That's fantastic. Yeah, every once in a while I'm getting ready for for a wedding, and I'm like, what would Anne say I should wear here? It's funny. So appreciate your advice and your expertise.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I don't shame people. So if you ever have a question, people feel free to reach out and contact me. I do give complimentary consultations. And
thanks again for your time. I really appreciate all the insights you shared with us today. And for anybody who has other questions or anything, please reach out to Anne, and for all your men's fashion questions and needs.
Thank you very much, Ivan. I appreciate all your time and the opportunity. Good luck with all your weddings.
Thank you.
You're welcome.